from the governor of the state, Charles Soludo, with the statement that ABGA would be working with the APC in 2027 for President Bola Tinubu's re-election if he chooses to run again. Let's not forget, he hasn't said whether it's going to run or not. But that said, I was trying to have a conversation this morning with the national chairman of ABGA, Mr. Sly Izokenwa. He didn't say too much, but then he says that there's one particular way that the party does some of these things. There's an NWC of the party that is in a position to look into all of these things. Well, you might hear him on television later today giving details to this because he was scheduled for an interview and hence couldn't be with us on the show, but then said there's an NWC of the party, and the NWC of the party was to sit down, have these conversations, and then talk about the direction that the party would take. Does that mean that the party does not agree? I do not know. We would also, in the course of a conversation this morning, hear from the ABGA state chairman. If you know, ABGA is in Rivers State, and they have a state chairman in the person of Ihanyi Ihunwo. He's also possibly going to give us an detail into how the party goes about its business with regards to candidates it wants to pick or support, and so on and so forth, or parties it wants to form alignments with and work with. Is that a decision solely made by the state chapter of the party, or does it involve a directive that comes from the national? Well, hopefully he would break that down for us in the course of our conversation. But before we hear from him this morning, we would first start with the phone lines. And the reason is because there are several questions I need to ask, especially when you see how worried people have become following all the what do I call it now? All the supports that the various governors have been giving the president. I started on the newspaper review segment of the Morning Crossfire saying, I've not seen any governor that has said anything bad about the president, or said, not even bad, that has criticized the president, the administration, to say, well, there are some things we need to, that's bad, like they usually would do. The Buhari time, you saw a lot of criticisms from different governors. The good luck time, oh my goodness, that one was something else. Even the Yar'Adua time, as short as it was, you saw various criticisms. The Obasanjo time, you would see, which made for an interesting democracy in politicking, right? But then it seems as though in this situation, everybody, for whatever reason, don't get me wrong, we don't know why, but for whatever reason, they all think that the president is doing well, and everybody is supporting him and saying he's doing well. The only people that have been saying he's not doing well are the Nigerians. Many Nigerians, not all of them. Many Nigerians are the ones saying he's not doing well. And they are pointing towards the indices of the economy to suggest that. They are pointing towards the state of insecurity in parts of the country to suggest that. They are looking at inflation. They are looking at different policies that have led to increase in tariffs, you name it, in taxes, in name it, and all of these things in turn snowball into one big problem for us economically. And people are looking at these things and even looking at the politics and how the government is making its policies and how it's running the democracy of the country. These are things that many Nigerians are looking at to say the president is not doing well. So what are Nigerians seeing? The ones that are of the opinion that the president is not doing well, what are they seeing that the politicians, the governors are not seeing? In fact, I would even dare to say that the media aide to the president had agreed to some of these things and agreed to the reality of what's happening in the country under this administration when he was responding to the message of Pastor Tunde Bakari. He admitted that there's these things are there, but, So how come that we don't hear, the governors don't cite these things, but instead, tend to put the persona that says or suggests that everything is working fantastically well? Which brings me to the several questions I want to ask you this morning, because I'll need your response to them. Nigerians are worried. There's some that says, if all the governors are supporting the president, then 2027 is done. And that got me even more concerned. Does the support of the president by the governors, does it bother you? How much does it bother you? Is your vote influenced by the support of governors for any candidate or support of any political figure for any candidate? Is that what influences the way you vote as a Nigerian? And lastly, does the support of governors for the current administration, does it do them any good or does it do them more bad? Because if Nigerians are of the opinion that they think the administration is not doing too well, but then you have the governors supporting the administration saying they are doing well, does it go well for the governors or does it not? Well, these are some of the questions I need your response to, but most especially for those of us who are on Facebook. If you haven't joined us on Facebook, you should do that now at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the handle on Facebook. So you can go there now, like the page, and join in on the conversation. And what we want to find out from you is whether the support of governors and political figures for any candidate whatsoever influences who you vote for in elections. Some have made the argument that Nigerians don't even know why they vote or the reasons why they vote for who they vote. Aside the lines of we just don't want this person again, or ethnic lines or religious lines, and then political party lines. Our leader said these are what some have said are the lines on which Nigerians vote. So let's find out whether there are other lines that we don't know, or have Nigerians evolved beyond this pedestrian thinking of who they vote for. You can say from the fears of many people, that seemed to be the case. It's a case of wherever the party goes, wherever our leader says, all of us, that's where we are going to. So if that's the case, then why do Nigerians then come around to complain about the kind of government that they get? Well, 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0002. You just tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, and quickly share your thoughts. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Isfemi.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chimadike. I am calling from Okuta.
All right.
I sympathize with you about your voice. It's one of those things. I pray for quick recovery.
Thank you.
Based on the issue at hand, I have exclaimed it here in your studio that I will still vote for President Tinubu because you know one thing, political party is being built on a manifesto, just as you said it before. And if other governors of different parties have started joining hands with him, which means they are in line with the APC manifesto. And one thing we have to understand is that Nigerians who are not supporting Tinubu, they are basing on magic. Even Moses, that was being appointed by God, that magic food from heaven and water from rock opened the Red Sea, there was still shortage. There was still shortage as of then. So what am I saying, essence, is that Nigeria cannot be repaired within a twinkle of an eye. So this person that in the hands of affairs that knows the policy and knows economics very well, they understand that he still needs more time. If Nigeria is going to get it right, 4 years is not enough. And another thing again, you have to understand that politics should be above ethnic or religion or whatever. As long as somebody is doing what is right, it mustn't mean that it will be direct to you. But if it is indirectly, you are getting it. Now, let's look at it now. This tax reform bill, you know what it means? First of all, those other northern nations that have been hiding their gold or whatever, mining, they will understand that they will see reason why they will go and fight now, because you cannot be hiding your own and be producing and you'll be eating equally with me. It's not possible. So if you're hiding your own, then you're getting down there.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Ifyemi Andrews.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. My name is Comrade Letambari Sunday, calling from Bori.
All right.
Yes, from the question you asked, I wish to say that President Tinubu has a different style of politicking and is the man that understands the ethics of politics. And one thing in politics, when you know the rules and how to play the game, you really play an inclusive, what they call inclusive governance. And with that, a lot of people want to copy that style, see how they can, work with him and get knowledge about that so that when they come up too, they can do such a thing. When he came up, before he came up, he lost that ambition. He actually placed some things in order, which people are practicing to also do today, that he include those who are not even from his area, make them something, make them to be governors, commissioners, and all that. And by then, when it start coming up, you see how people were trooping, bringing up themselves, supporting him during his primaries. So that is how the man has known how to put things in place and ensure that, yes, anytime he has interest to do a thing, people will fall, and contribute their own quota to him.
All right, Late Ambari, I take it you mean, well, the president you believe is coming for 2027. But let's go on the commercial. We'll come back and take more calls.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, let's get back into the conversation. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. So following comments by the Anambra State Governor, Charles Soludo, saying that ABGA would work with the APC to ensure support for the president's 2027 re-election bid. A lot of people have diverse opinions. Not just that, we've seen almost every governor of the Federation also show support for the president, which for some Nigerians is a concern, and they are already of the opinion that because that happens, it means that the president is going to win. But is that really the case? Does the support of a governor, a political figure, or political parties, does that give any candidate an assurance of victory in the polls? That's what we want to find out. And that's why I asked you the question whether the support of these people I've mentioned or entities I've mentioned, does that sway or determine which candidate you vote for? Does that influence which candidate you vote for in an election? So I will get back to the phone lines quickly. Good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling from, Nigeria Info.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Ayibakaspar.
Okay.
Andrew, in this part of the world, governors have a lot of influence over the voters. They have the structure, they have the money. So when governors push their weight behind a president, it automatically gives that president advantage for re-election. Because these governors have their chairman. Their chairman has, people they appoint from the world and down to the unit. And the way we play our politics in this part of the world, those things count. Because every individual, everybody that says a politician or not has somebody.
So are you know that when you say that the governors have influence, they have the money, what do you mean? Like they have the money to do what?
What I mean is that they have the money to mobilize for elections. They have so much influence because in this part of the world, every voter has somebody he's sympathizing with. And especially those in power. So you cannot deal with that. So any governor that pulls his weight behind a candidate, that state automatically, goes behind that governor. It has what it has been, and I don't think that it will change.
So in other words, you believe that many people in Anambra State will vote for the president in 2027 if he chooses to run for a second term, just because the governor of Anambra State has said that they're going to support the president?
Andrew, the moment the governors say that, even those that have been criticizing the president, I must tell you, that singular statement will change their mindset automatically, and they will follow suit, provided the governor of that state is doing well and he has the structure in the state.
All right. Okay. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All
right. Good morning, Ita. Go ahead.
My brother, the governor has said his own. I know that the governor has power. But they have the LG chairman, the assembly members, the commissioners, and the commissioners have people. The assembly members have people. The local government chairman has people. They have essays, advisors, councillors, so whatever thing the governor says in the state is going to pass.
So wait, Ida, hold on. So are we saying that people do not vote by looking at the merits or whether a person deserves their vote? They only vote because all of the things you've said now is in place?
My brother, just like Governor Tim did now, don't defected to APC.
If he's not doing well, people will not vote for him. At least that's how it should be. If they look at it, and regardless of whether all the ministers, all the lawmakers, all the commissioners, if the Nigerians look at the individual and think they're not doing well, shouldn't that be what decides whether they vote or not vote? If Nigerians listen to the policies of the individual and put that against their performance so far, isn't that what a person should look at and decide whether they vote for this candidate or that candidate? As against what many of us are saying about the governors are powerful, they have money, they have resources, they have commissioners, they have lawmakers, they have this. Like I'm trying to. You people need to make me understand what's happening.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you have some oracle. You, Andrew Femi, the other workers, Constant and other workers. Then your boss, Andrew Femi, you handle evening program. Some oracle handle morning program. It's available.
I don't understand. That's if I'm employed now. So is your political party employing you?
You're working in Nigeria Info now.
Yes, I'm employed here, and I have to do a job. I signed a contract to do a job and get paid.
Evening program, don't handle morning program again. Oracle handle morning program. Will you disobey about to come to morning program?
I would not, because I'm signed to a contract. So are you telling me that the political parties you belong to is a company and that you people sign contracts?
That is how most of us is from. Let me tell you this.
Okay, now you have said it now. So it's a politics of stomach infrastructure. That's how people vote.
Not stomach infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. So clearly, people vote because that is where they eat from. If there's anything I got from what you said, that's what it means. So that's why a leader can, if I'm going to go by what you said, that means that's why a leader can say, all of us, we are going this way. And everybody just goes. Nobody asks questions. Nobody looks at whether who they are going to vote for it's what a leader has said. That's what you're basically saying. Good morning, Nigeria Info. You'd have to call us back. There's a beep in your background. Please do well to call back. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
My name is Uche. I'm calling from Boba.
All right, go on, Uche.
Yes, what I want to say is that the structure, the money, whatever the governors have, everything boils down to rigging of elections. That's just for me. That's the way I see it. Number one, I see that the governors are trying to preserve their own position. They have all seen that Tinubu, especially what happened in River State now, that Tinubu is not, our president is not a Democrat. Unlike when Buhari and Goodluck, at least you can those were the tolerated opposition. But they are saying that this man does not tolerate him. He wants everybody to be with him. And if you're not going to be with him, you will probably lose your own election. So it's not that Tinubu is doing well. And another thing is that...
How do you mean you probably lose the election? Because we said this thing like the people do not have a say, or the people don't realize that they really have a say.
You see why they don't have a say is that because at the end of the day, the voting does not count.
Why?
Now,
is it not the people that also are in charge of... How do you mean the voting does not count? Because the people that are counting... Okay, let's give an instance. In Abia State, it was a people, let me put it that way, if I'm going to use that language. It was a people that was an electoral officer that stood that position and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the right thing.
Thank you.
So at the end of the day, is it not still the people? That's what I'm trying to make. Is it not the people that have it in their hands, whether it works or it fails?
Yes. That one worked. OT1, the actual result was declared because the woman in charge refused to oblige with what the authorities wanted. That's what I'm saying. It's not that people don't know that this man is not doing well and they don't vote right. They vote right. At the end of the day, does it count? That is just what is happening. So as it is now, the governors, they want to maintain their stay. The only thing that INEC can do for me, that I think that can change the situation is that the presidential election and the governorship election should be done the same day, not 2 weeks later. Because if they do the presidential election, all of them will fight to deliver the president. Then in the next 2 weeks for the governorship election, they don't want they will not say, President, I've delivered you, deliver me. Of course, you know what happens. It's what they want, the authorities want, that they will say this is the winner. INEC is there to do their bidding. That Professor Nena in Abia State refused. That's why which is there today working for the people. So when they say the governors have Russia, they have money, it's just about rigging of elections.
Okay, what I want us to understand, thank you very much. What I want us to understand is the people aren't just the people that vote. The people also include the people that work in INEC, The people also include the people that are returning officers. The people also include the people that are at the voting centers with beavers machine. The people also include the people that are working with the police. All of us are the people. I need us to get these things so that we understand. The people also include the core members that would be in charge of imputing results in paper or whatever. The people includes everybody. The people is not just those, because when we say the people think it's just the ones that stand on the line to cast their votes, and then they'll say, "We don't vote now." When we vote, the other persons, when they in charge of collation and the rest, they are also part of the people, because their brother, their mother, they are in the village too now. And so if everybody does what they ought to do right. Good morning.
Andrew, good morning. My name is Akanto. I'm calling from Borogo.
All right.
If you're a Shegu, this is a conscience is an open room which the truth can only hear, according to Oxman Dan Audio. You see, you get the experience.
Kanto, you have to call me back. I don't know why. I think you got interrupted for whatever reason. Good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
You're welcome.
My name is J.A.J.
All right, come
I'm
on.
calling you from Port Harcourt.
All right.
Andrew, you remember 2023, right?
Mm.
You remember that Lagos has a governor that is from the same party with the president, right?
Mm.
The president failed in Lagos. Check the results. The G5 were following...
But JJ, sorry, but you remember the argument there, or even the argument in court then was that the numbers that were even given to the party that won, the Labour Party, that those numbers were numbers that were also cooked by whoever was in charge. So I want us to also add that perspective to the story. So you don't...
Don't let me say what I want to say here.
So say it though, because everybody says that people do not have a say.
Lagos have all the assemblies for APC, have governor for APC and everything, and you think somebody can do anything funny against the Andrew. You remember the G5s? They were following former Governor Yeso Wike up and down. Only Wike, that the River State, was able to at least deliver the president. Ikpeazu did it. What's the other guy's name? Autumn didn't. Even the Enugu guy, nothing. So not be everybody when we are just the guy man at the end of the day. So
but remember that there are also arguments that in River State there were issues with that delivery you're talking about.
Well, now you hear the argument. I didn't hear that one. So for me as a person, I think that those support does not really, when it comes to practical, translate into voting or those. Don't forget too that in Anambra that brought this discussion right now, Anambra election will come way, way far before the presidential election. Remember, right?
Because of the changes in the calendar, for Anambra State particularly. They should be having their elections soon for governorship elections. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Good morning, the very distinguished Femi Andrew. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, so wishing you a great weekend.
All right, go on.
I mean, as much as I'm...
What's your name, please?
I remain the very distinguished Temple Okiri. In as much as I'm concerned, looking at the discourse on ground, if the support of the governors towards the re-election of Mr. President entails that their state will win, for me, I think those governors are trying to massage their ego and fix themselves in the book, the good book of Mr. President. Because sometimes when we talk about these governors, the last time I checked, they constitute only but one vote. And when you even talk of their family, they cannot even speak in respect to their entire family. Because I even doubt if some of them that day, their wives and their children are not even around in the day of election, when people have been casting their votes. So the majority of the voters are even in the market, the traders, the women, the men. So when we talk about them coming up to the podium to say, we are supporting, how? If you talk about this issue of supporting, I support. Look at Abia State. The governor of them, that was how he voted. Even in his own senatorial, in his own ward, he couldn't even win. So for me, this their support I support is inconsequential and does not make any sense. They can only talk as a leader. They can only speak because they have the opportunity to speak in such a crowd. But for me, what they can only do is the day of election, they cast their vote. But for me, my personal opinion.
Are you sure, Temple? Are you sure that's the only thing they can do? Because some of the callers don't agree that that's the only thing they can do, and that's the reason why people are worried.
What I'm saying now, if they believe that the election will be free and fair, that when people cast their vote, the people's vote will fair. I tell you, most of these governors will not even support President Tinubu because he has nothing to show. They are only doing that just to massage and ensure that their own re-election will also be intact. The issue of federal might will not come to play. So the people at the end of the day, they should allow their people's vote to count. That is what we are pleading. Because that is where all of them are beckoning on and hiding their...
But Temple, let's understand something. The people also include the people that will count the vote.
That is where...
So why is it that some of the people will stand on the line and vote, while some of the other people that want to count the votes of the other people are not...
we always tell the professors, those of them that say that they are marginalized, do have one group or the other. They have to, and all the rest of them, they are also part of it. Because we have one now that is in jail cooling his head. So, as a result of the court are finding guilty for manipulating the court. That is what we are saying. They should allow the people's vote to count. So that these governors can stand their ground and say that, yes, we are going to deliver our party.
All right.
Produce a candidate.
Temple, thank you. Let's move on to another caller quickly. Good morning.
Yes, Akanto Boutique.
Okay, Akanto. All right, go on.
Yes, see, just like what one of the callers said, I mentioned. You see, Nigerian politicians are funny. Look at people. Governors are fidgeting. They are not even have the people at heart. It's only the people. They are now aligned with Mr. President to deliver them. That they are taking succor in Mr. President to deliver, either to direct the INEC to do whatever thing to do with it so that they can declare their victory. Just people. They are being fidget of the people. Like, let me tell you, and 2023 election, like one of the callers said, to give information. People easily forget history. Somebody that does not have a government, somebody that did not even have a structure nowhere, ran an election and people voted for him. You know that what the system, it's not the system of Nigeria that is very bad. They are declared another person winner of the election. So let me tell you, and let the governors who are declaring for Mr. President have not done anything. The economy is fighting. It's very difficult for Nigeria. 2027 election will start a signal to Nigeria. See, even though you are a governor of a state and you direct me to vote for this person, either you have the structure, you have the work without to direct me, I will think about the economy that we are passing through. We will think about the fair institution of Nigeria, and Nigeria will go to vote for a candidate of their choice. Candidate that can liberate Nigeria, not Tinubu. Who is it? Okay, like Anambra State, that we are talking about now. One of the candidates that will contest, I don't know, assuming that he contests, is from that state. Then he will tell, and the law that the Anambra have for that man who, Peter Obi, the governor of Soludo, direct the people of Anambra State to all of them to be on a battleground to vote for every candidate. No. Let's look at the northern factor. Either we say no or yes. Northern factor will come to display in 2027 election, either we elect it or not, because they have a kind of system where they respect a system of government without what they call the monarchical system, where they are directly come from their supreme leader.
Which is also a problem. That is what I am saying now. So if somebody says vote like this, that's how everybody follows and go to vote. Is that how we vote? Is that how the
election? The vice president was from the north, and he said the northern will give him wrong vote. But at the end of the day, the northern must think of their economy. Look at what the present administration is doing with the economy of the northern. You think about that. Even though the Supreme Leader never give that directive, you look at the economic crunch that is destroying the economy in the north. You think about the Boko Haram. You think about the human loss in the north. See, let me tell you, 2027 people should begin to eat and pack their load now, because something will happen. We will vote according to our conscience.
Let's take one more. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Hello, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Andrew, let's quickly...
Your name first, please.
Hello?
Yes, your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Anambra.
Okay.
Calling from River State.
All right, go on.
Okay, going through the logic of some of these things, Andrew, here we operate in descending order, like from top to down in our politics. That means the person at the top will influence the person at the bottom. And that's why you see the governors can easily influence the people at the bottom through the apparatus they have. We talk about the money and some other things that they have that can enhance their influence. But let me also say it here, Andrew, that every governor present this present administration is doing that for survival and for personal gain. And is not analyzing it analytically and critically. Okay, what are the parameters you can look from? You have not you look at the maintenance governance to protect lives and property, rate at which commodities are sold. You talk about the rate of your currency compared to the international currency. Let's assume that we are using dollars and international currency. Now, what's the rate of the naira to the dollar now and all that? So, if you look at some of these things, where will you pass your mark on this administration? It's not as if we hate this administration and all that, but calling a spade is where we are looking at it from. And I can also tell you for free, Andrew, that until our voters and people at the bottom have the right mindset about voting, we can never have it right. Okay, let me also tell you, during election time, you will see these people, they will share facts, clothes, and all that. And these people, in their ignorance, they see that any candidate that shares these clothes and love them more, and they will have to vote for that.
All right, my friend, but that's the much we can take. Unfortunately, we have to end it here. Thank you guys very much. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Jude will be coming in with Hello Port Harcourt next. Good morning.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM.